Hey guys, it is time for a new update here on the Bitcoin price. I can already tell you we are going to talk about the bigger timeframes today. I want to talk about when we can expect this bear market to finally end. Are we going to see a bull market start within this year? What is the likelihood of the final capitulation happening? We are going to take a look at several on-chain datas today. Guys, I can already tell you this is going to be a very nice video for all Bitcoin bulls, for all long-term holders. But nevertheless, as I told you in my last videos already, it's more than important to be active within the next 1 or 2 months in the cryptocurrency space. Otherwise, it's very likely that you are actually missing an opportunity of a lifetime here. I will explain to you in the video exactly why. This is not a joke, and this is also not something I'm saying because of clickbait. As always, guys, I would really appreciate it if you would smash up a like here on today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell. As you know, and as I have been telling you in the last couple of videos, the bear market, and especially the end of the bear market, is always where the biggest opportunities are ahead of us for the next bull run. So stay tuned, don't miss it, and don't be a person that comes back when everything is back to all-time highs once again. So let's not talk too much, let's just jump right into the charts. As I said, thank you very much for the support, thank you for liking, thank you for commenting and keeping here the bell active so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, do that for sure. Let's, before we jump onto the smaller timeframes and into our on-chain datas, take a look at something very interesting, because as you maybe remember, a lot of people were always talking about the 200 weekly moving average and how it will be the bottom for Bitcoin in this bear market most likely. I myself included thought that for a relatively long time, till you guys remember, we have been talking about this since a year now, till we realized that actually our top here was not a real top. That was visible through on-chain data. No whales were involved in this run-up here. It was all retail FOMO by Michael Saylor, Elon Musk, and all that kind of stuff. So in reality, the 200 weekly moving average would have not moved up so dramatically, but would have started to correcting and going sideways much earlier. So we would have seen the 200 weekly moving average probably coming in at exactly the area we are at right now. And what does this mean for us? This means that, yes, for sure, in the history of Bitcoin, our 21 weekly moving average crosses our 100 weekly moving average to the downside, as it happened here as well. We go a little bit sideways, we bounce off the 200 weekly moving average, and we see then the next bull run occurring. The only thing we need to keep in mind here, guys, yes, in our last bear market in 2015, when we saw the bottom, we wicked below the 200 weekly moving average. So now just keeping in mind that our 200 weekly moving average should be already a little bit lower, probably coming in exactly where the price is having problems to reverse at the moment. I tell you, I still see the likelihood, although we are going to talk about a lot of bullish things in a second. I will tell you exactly where I expect the bear market to end and to reverse, also with a timeline actually. Yes, I'm still a big believer in a final potential wick to the downside to $16,000 to $14,000. But as I said, this would happen with a matter of days. That would be something similar to the Corona dump we saw, or this big wick here in 2015, a 30% wick to the downside. Keep in mind, that is definitely still in the books here, although we are going to talk about a lot of bullish scenarios now. I mean, if this wick occurs, it's relatively easy to be spotted. First of all, we would need to close our current weekly candle below the $18,700 level. Interestingly enough, I mean, this weekly candle is only open for a little bit more than 2 days. Interestingly enough, let me remove here the moving averages real quick. Interestingly enough, we got rejected, as you know, from our rising wedge here. We saw a fake in, we saw a perfect rejection, now we are falling, and as you can see here, the $18,000 level would also be the price level where we would be confirming the breakdown out of this rising wedge as soon as we see a 4-hourly candle close below that. With that, then it's almost a guarantee that our weekly candle also falls below its old weekly candle closes, and with that, the likelihood of a final wick to the downside is almost 100% confirmed. Why am I telling you this now? Because this potential move to the downside will occur very, very soon. One quick thing before we talk about that, guys, Bitcoin is growing faster than the internet. Just a small side note here, something bullish for you to take away. I mean, yes, for sure Bitcoin only has the possibility to grow that fast because the internet now exists. First of all, I mean, without the internet it would not even be possible that Bitcoin exists, but in general we need to keep in mind here that through the internet things tend to spread now a lot quicker. They can spread globally without a problem, and when the internet was invented, I mean, this was still not really the case. So we need to keep in mind that maybe this comparison is a little bit hard to make. Nevertheless, it's very nice to see the Bitcoin network and all its users growing so rapidly. But what I want to talk about is the BTC Historical Volatility Index. This is just comparing our volatility that we are seeing at the moment in the market with the total volatility that we see with Bitcoin around different times. And what we can see is that this volatility index always decreases to a minimum right before we see a next big move. For example, in 2018, volatility index at an all-time low more or less, and what did we see? The big dump from $6,000 all the way down to the $3,200 level. On the other side, volatility again decreased massively, reached a low point, and what did we saw? A massive run up from $4,000 all the way up to $14,000. What did we see? After the corona dump and massive volatility index decreasing, we saw our low point. What happened afterwards? A big move, and actually our next bull run started. Yes, you heard that correctly. And now guys, we are at the point again after 2 years where our volatility index is so low that the next move will be massive, and it will come in a very short amount of time because Bitcoin never stays or never stayed for this long at such a low volatility index range. So guys, keep that in mind just now for the upcoming information I'm about to give you. As I said, a quick wick to the downside is still possible, but I already told you that this will be a bullish video. Because what have we seen in the past with the realized profit? What can we see there? This shows us if the average Bitcoin holder is in a profit or loss. And what we can see here is that since the beginning of time, since the market is growing bigger and bigger, the volatility itself on a percentage basis decreases over time now with each and every bull and bear cycle we have, because there's a lot more money in the market and moves tend to get percentage-wise lower and lower, the average move as the market grows, right? We can already see that in the beginning we saw huge capitulations, a lot of Bitcoin holders in a deep loss. On the other hand, in the bull runs, we saw a lot of the Bitcoin holders in a massive profit, and we can see that this is decreasing from time to time. And what we can already see is that we are now in the capitulation range where we really only expect Bitcoin to remain for a couple of more weeks before then actually turning to the upside once again. And what is this telling us? This is just telling us that, guys, keep that in mind, that we can see a final short wick to the downside, yeah, but that's already it. And in the past, we have seen these small, bigger wicks to the downside when we were forming the bear market bottom. So this is still a likelihood. Nevertheless, that shows us that we cannot remain in that capitulation zone much longer, and we are actually going to see probably a bull market or next bull run start, which can come slowly. It can take multiple months then to climb from 20 to 23, 24, 25, but it would be a start, and we would never be expecting another dump below the $20,000 level then again. That's why I'm saying sub $20,000 is, in my opinion, a good entry point no matter what. So we can see here at the realized price that for sure also here the bottom will be in relatively soon, and this is something that we can also confirm by looking at the exchange outflow and also the Bitcoin that are held on exchanges, because Bitcoin are only held on exchanges if they are expected to be sold or they want to stay liquid, right? If you are removing BTC from an exchange, putting them on a hardware wallet or cold storage or whatever, you are not intending to sell them in a very short amount of time, and you are intending them to now hodl them maybe for multiple months or till the next real bull run and the next new all-time high occurs. And what we have seen on the 18th of October is actually that a massive amount of BTC once again got removed from exchanges, and with that massive amount of BTC removed from exchanges, actually again we are at an all-time low since November 2018. Since 4 years, guys, the supply on exchanges of Bitcoin is at an all-time low. This is definitely an extremely bullish sign, and this just shows us, guys, that the worst that I can imagine for the markets is this final capitulation if we are breaking on the smaller time frames below the $18,700, because volatility needs to increase in a matter of days maybe only. That's why the final capitulation, if it takes place, it will happen very, very soon. And that's why we are just keeping an eye on the charts now. That's why there can be a massive opportunity, because we know that all the other on-chain data, the realized price, the supply on exchanges, and so on, and also the charts are showing us that between the $16,000 and $14,000 level, we would not stay long there. We would only see a quick wick. We maybe only remain there for a few hours before massively reversing to the upside again. And that's why I can tell you, stay active. I will keep you up to date on this situation, because it may be an opportunity to actually, open massive swing long positions and to get an entry price that we will never see again for Bitcoin, and that a huge amount of people thought they would never see again. So don't be the person that hoped for these price levels at $60,000, $50,000 and now leaves the market right before we are potentially reaching them. So guys, we are going to see us in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, activate the bell, leave a comment down below, smash up a like, and with that, we are going to see us in the next one. Till then, bye.